Hey guys, it's Alyssa, the hopeless romantic redhead,
And I'm Danielle, the whodunit detective.
and welcome to Main Character Syndrome. If you feel like you're the main character in your life, you are in the right place. All right, guys, we are in episode 3 of our Queen of Shadows deep dive. It is the fourth book in the Throne of Glass series. Oh my God, Danielle, it has been a ride.
It's getting exciting for this second kind of half of the book that we're about to get into, and I'm really excited to talk about it today.
Yeah, there's so much going on. There's so much left to talk about. So before we get into this, we are going to give a little spoiler alert. We will be spoiling books 1, 2, 3, 4, and the prequel Assassin's Blade. So if you have not read any of those, go back, read them. 10 out of 10 recommend. They are amazing books. Or go listen to our recaps in the podcast, or do both. There are some great stories in there. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we left off on chapter 43, where we left off with Aelin, Adian, and Rowan are at Arobyn's house, which is the Assassin's Keep, and they brought him a Volk to interrogate for information. After he has asked his questions, Arobyn cut off the Volk's finger with the black stone ring that controls it. After that, Arobyn wants to have dinner with them and all of them, and Lysandra, whom Aelin has slipped a piece of paper discreetly to when they met.
During the dinner, we found Aelin has purposefully destroyed Arobyn's investments and his connections with his clients as kind of a payback for everything that Arobyn did. Arobyn gets Aelin alone to talk and says that he wants her to stop, and they're kind of negotiating. And Aelin says she will if he gives her the amulet of Orinth back, which is her house basically amulet. He stole it from her when he found her in the river 10 years ago. Arobyn then tricks Aelin and slips the black ring from the Volg on her finger in an attempt to control her and keep her for himself, saying he's going to enjoy having her back.
And remember, the amulet has the word key in it.
Yes.
It's very important that we get that back. So, yes, this episode's going to be chapter 44 to 66. So, let's get into it. Chapter 44, Aelin now has the Blackstone ring on her finger. Arobyn has licked her blood as Evolg told him that that is how the king controls his army. This is important. Arobyn tells Aelin to blink, and she does, and basically just does exactly what he says as he tests to see if his plan really worked. He then sends her off with Rowan and Adian back to the warehouse where they've made base camp. Rowan and Adian heard everything. Rowan is furious. Aelin reveals that she isn't actually under his control and that she finally found out Arobyn's plans for her. She chose Stefan, who is a Volk general with the least control over his human host. And when they interrogated Stefan, Aelin gave him a chance at redemption for everything that he's done. Stefan ended up helping and then told Arobyn fake information about the blood that controls the Volk. Aelin had actually cut off the ring of Steven's finger and then put the fake one on the other hand, and that's the one that Arobyn took. It was a test for Arobyn's redemption, and he failed miserably. Adian is very mad he wasn't included in the plan yet again. Aelin says that she needed his reaction to be real for things to work. She also reveals that she told Lysandra she could kill him because she deserves it more because of everything that he's put her through. This is important because Aelin has given what she's been wanting since she found out that Arobyn is the one that sent her to Endovir. Arobyn's the one that has killed Sam, done all these horrible things. But she's given the killing blow to Lysandra. And later, Aelin is up on the roof in the rain, keeping watch because she couldn't really stop thinking about Arobyn and his impending death. She's struggling with this mentally, even though she knows it's the right thing to do. Rowan then finds her, and they have this really sweet moment where she ends up like touching his face and like caressing him. And they almost kiss, but he flips a switch and tells her not to touch him like that. Aelin apologizes and immediately backs off, and it's extremely awkward. Meanwhile, Lysandra is in bed with Arobyn, gross, and she's planning her killing blow. She is extremely calm. She heard him send for his men earlier and knows that his plan is to kill Rowan and get him out of the way. Lysandra reaches under her pillow and basically grabs what she calls like the hilt of a stiletto. And I'm thinking it's a shoe. I know it's a knife, but it sounds
Mm.
like it's a shoe. And basically slits his throat. And there's this thunderstorm going on, and nobody really hears his gurgling screams for help. And he does not die peacefully.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, ooh. I almost wonder though if Aelin gave it to Lysandra, maybe because she didn't trust herself enough to fully go through with it.
That's fair.
Like they don't specifically say that, but like I feel like knowing Aelin in the situation that she was in, like, and you could see how kind of like her on the roof having a hard time with this still. I was like, I think she did that because she didn't have the trust in herself.
Yeah. He needed to die, and she knew it. And I don't know if
Yeah.
she could have done it.
Yeah. Chapter 45, we are the Demon Prince Dorian, and the king is torturing someone, asking where the rebels are hiding. Now, this is a very short chapter, but by the end of the book, you'll put two and two together. We later learn who these people in the dungeons are.
Yeah. 46. Aelin is summoned to the keep by Tern, again, fourth wing, Tern, Harding, and Mullen, who are now in charge of the assassins now that Arabin is dead, which they tell her the news now, and she feigns shock. Lysandra is also a good actress, acting distressed, covered in blood. Aelin berates the men, acting like they're idiots for letting this happen.
And no one can believe that Lysandra would do this. Like she's like covered in his blood.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah.
also, Aelin has an alibi because the assassins had her watched and
Yeah.
she was on the roof all night.
Yep.
It could have
So
been her.
chapter 47, Aelin storms into the keep asking what the hell happened. Lysandra is crying in the front room, and Aelin then accuses her of killing him. They're both acting, and this is all part of the plan. But of course, no one knows, no one's supposed to know that Aelin and Lysandra have made amends. So, of course, she would go and berate Lysandra, accusing her of this. So Aelin then goes to the bedroom where he was killed. There's blood everywhere. It is like a gory mess. And Aelin's like, what the heck? Like she's genuinely like, what did you do?
Sandra had some
Um,
fun.
we learned that Kale actually helped by sneaking into the room and he left large boot prints in the blood to kind of take the blame away from Lysandra. They know Aelin didn't do it because, like you said, there were spies watching her all night at her apartment. Aelin tries to send Lysandra and Clarice away, but Clarice, who is basically Lysandra's owner, she's the brothel owner kind of person,
Yeah, she's like the
says that,
madam.
yeah, the madam says that the bank is about to come and they are going to read the will, and she knows that she is named in it, and so she wants to stay. You greedy woman.
Gold digger.
Yeah. Arabin's will is read, and it's like mic drop. Arabin left all of his money and all of his stuff to Selena Sardothian. She then turns to Clarice and Lysandra and says to get the hell out of my house. And I was just rolling laughing so hard. Then she calls out the hunchman, basically, and Turn, Harding, and Mullen. And she turns to them and calls them out for playing a part in Sam's death and setting her up and being shipped to Andover. She tells them, then finally, after going back and forth with them, bickering, and they're like pissed off, she tells them that they can buy this all from her. They can buy the property, the guild, everything. She's like, you want it? Give me money. They
Pay
don't
for
have
it.
enough money. So they're like, well, we need to talk to other people and get more people in on this. And she's like, okay, fine. You have like until tomorrow. And then she kicks everyone out except, her crew. And we learn that she had managed to switch the will in the bank in order to get money from the assassins, all part of her plan, to pay for an army for Adian. So the night that she fought at the pit was her setting everything up and contacting the investors for Arabin so that he could get more money before she killed him. Genius. She then snuck into the bank at night and was able to switch the will out for the original. The original actually had Turn as the new king of the assassins and gave Clarice basically all of his money. And the only thing she would get in it, which is like the biggest slap in the face to her, is that she would just get her amulet back. I mean, at least she would get that back, but
Mhm.
still, like, out of all the things that he put her through, he was like, you don't get anything. And you're not going to be my number two anymore. You're not my heir.
Yep.
So then she goes to see his body. She cuts the rest of his head off.
Just to make sure he's dead.
Yeah. So that was an interesting chapter.
This is classic Selena Sardathian. She's a genius. I mean, we saw the rescue of Adian, and now we get this. This is why she was at the bank in the middle of
Mhm.
the night, just randomly.
Yeah.
Like, she's so smart and clever, and she's 19. This is
Yeah.
insane. All right, chapter 48. Here we go into part two of the book, which is called Queen of Light. And we are back at Morath, where Manon is beating Astrid for her behavior earlier when they found out what was happening to the Yellowlegs who volunteered for the Duke's experiments. It was quite disturbing. The Duke then summons Manon and says he wants a Blackbeak coven now. He's like, we have the Yellowlegs. I want a Blackbeak coven. Manon is furious and she's also conflicted because it's a direct order, but she knows that it's wrong. The Duke makes her take him and Keltane plus the 13 to a village on the outskirts on the Wyverns where rebels supposedly live. And there, Keltane kills people with her shadow fire, basically burning them from the inside out. It's very painful. Keltane doesn't kill them all, so the 13 have to kill the rest, and Manon really struggles with this internally.
Yeah. This is like scary. You see the power Caltaine has and just have to think about what she can do now to so many people and how she could fight Aelin and Rowan and all of them easily doing this. Especially, well, I guess she can't use her magic there in Rifthold either, but she's a big weapon, and we'll see her again.
Mhm.
Chapter 49, the assassins manage to get the money and Aelin signs the keep away to them. Rowan says that Larkin is still alive, but he didn't find him when he was searching around for him. And don't forget, Larkin is supposed to be on this journey to kill the word hounds, is what they think he's doing because they should be hunting him. Lysandra and Aelin are in disguise at Nezrin's family's bakery. They're speaking to a woman named Nellie who works behind the counter, and they're speaking to her in code. This code they're talking about basically is for an opium dealer who worked at the shadow market, and they're looking for him, trying to get his location. Apparently, the opium dealer at the market got out before the burning using the sewers deep into the catacombs under the sewer. So no one knew that below the sewers, there's more. And so they find out this information. Kaol and Aelin are then at the remnants of the shadow market. They're searching the rubble for a sewer. Aelin says the dealer was also known for selling hellfire. So this is what this was all about, finding hellfire. And they find the sewer, and then they go down into the sewer hole, and they go down even further into the catacombs. Aelin already knows the dealer is not going to be down there because he was actually caught and killed by the king's guards just 2 days ago, and she's looking for his hellfire stash before anyone else finds it.
Exactly. That's why Aelin smelled of fire and smoke, because she was in these ruins trying to find the Hellfire. Chapter 50, the Hellfire is supposedly hidden underneath the Temple of the God of Truth. Word marks are in the temple, and they tell the story of Elena and Gavin and the First War. The Volg were led by one of the three kings who could take on any form. He chose a handsome man. His name was Erewhon, whom Gavin and Elena supposedly fought and killed. But the walls under the Temple of the God of Truth reveal secrets and confessions, and at his deathbed, Gavin's confession revealed that they did not kill Erewhon because they couldn't. Instead, they put him to sleep using the Eye of Elena and entombed him in an iron sarcophagus beneath the Black Mountains. Remember that, that's very important for later.
In
where
wrath.
they basically build a keep on top of it. They then realize that the Black Mountains are Morath and that the king is trying to raise Erewhon if he hasn't already.
Yeah. So bad.
Very bad.
Very, very bad. Chapter 51, kind of a long one. Manon and the 13 meet. She asks them to suggest a clan to pick for the Duke's breeding because she just does not want this responsibility and she does not really want to do this. They had all met in secret without her, she learns, and they all disapprove of this entire thing. Astrid then again fights hard against Manon and is talking back to her, and she is just going at her. She says that Manon may as well kill her if she wants to gain her grandmother's approval. And then all of a sudden, in this secret meeting they're having, a man with golden hair comes into the room when he shouldn't have been able to get into this room, and the room completely goes dark. There's screaming, no one can see, and then all of a sudden, a golden, they're screaming, room's dark, and they remember that a golden haired man was in the room with the Yellow Legs clan doing the breeding. Many of the 13 are scared and in pain and screaming. So then Manon attacks this man and she asks if he was sent there to them. His eyes shift to blue, and the man says that his name was Roland and asks her to please kill him. And then she beheads him. The demon had told Manon before she killed him, excuse me. The demon had told Manon that to get away from him because she was looking at him with her golden eyes. Only some of the witches were harmed by the demon, others were completely unfazed. The ones who had colored eyes were harmed, but the ones with black eyes that had gold flecks in them were not impacted. So obviously, this is something significant about eye color, specifically the golden eyed color.
And
Even if they're,
specifically the witch line.
yes. So Manon then goes to Caltaine, asks her where her power comes from, and she says it's hers mixed with another. She says that they don't want the witches, they want kings. Then Caltaine touches her and makes it seem like her skin is melting and her blood is boiling, but it's not real. So we hadn't heard from Roland in a while, and we're
Yeah,
like,
it's
what's
basically
he up to?
Dorian's cousin.
Yes, who we hated.
Yes.
Because he was under basically the king's spell, and we didn't know if it was like him willingly being a part of it or not, but obviously it was him not willingly being a part of
Right.
this.
He had a
Um,
black ring on his finger. He was being controlled.
yeah. So, and he's dead now.
Poor Roland.
Yeah.
Then again, I think he stole like Kale's girl or something back in the day. So
Yeah.
karma's a bitch.
Yeah.
Chapter 52, Nezrin has a message from Ren, the rebel, who, if we remember, I think it was Crown of Midnight, he worked with Adian and Kaol to do some rebel stuff. So his note says that the king has created an army in Morath with 3,000 witches and wyverns. This is not good news.
That's a lot.
Shocked by this and kind of spiraling, Aelin is walking around and lets her guard down long enough for Lorcan to sneak up on her and put a knife to her throat. He says Aelin made a big mistake when she gave Maeve the ring, which was Athral's ring, that was her former lover, Maeve's former lover, saying that she was too naive to think it was something sentimental. The ring actually protects anyone who wears it from Volg powers. Lorcan claims he wants to destroy the word keys to save Maeve from herself, thus, he's not actually betraying her. Okay. He says he'll make a deal, the ring for the amulet slash word key. Then he lets Aelin go and disappears. Later in bed, Rowan is distraught. He's frustrated with himself for making Aelin feel awkward with what happened between them, and he's also struggling with his attraction towards her. He lets it slip that he was terrified when Lorcan had her, and he's mad at himself for allowing this to happen because if it was anyone else, they might have actually killed her, and he's right. Rowan says he would have given Lorcan the amulet and word key because she means that much to him. This is huge. And Rowan then tells her that he did miss her when he was in Wendland. Because remember, Aelin was like, I missed you. Did you miss me? And he's like, it was like a month.
Yeah.
So Rowan does tell her that he missed her when he was in Wendland, and he was glad that he had an excuse to come see her when Lorcan came to Rifthold. The two share a very intimate moment where Aelin reveals her throat to him and says no one else will be allowed at her throat. This is a huge sign of complete trust because she's literally just being so vulnerable to him. Like, you can have this killing blow. I trust you that much. Rowan grazes his canines against her skin, as apparently Fae do, and it's very intimate, and it's almost hotter than if they just kissed.
I don't know. Seems weird to me.
It was quite weird, but it was sensual, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. Chapter 53, we're back into Dorian's point of view with the demon controlling him. The monster basically just tells a prisoner to drink something. Dorian can feel the man's sorrow and is learning to kind of get used to it and kind of starting to like it. And so this is just a chapter that goes to show he's just continuing to lose himself more.
Yeah, and it's dark. Chapter 54, Manon has received a summons. She and her 13 are to fly to Oakwald Forest to meet her grandmother, the king, and Dorian, the prince. And she finally gets to see this weapon that her grandmother has been building for the king. Caltaine has allowed the demon to take control. This is from her point of view. So she's allowed the demon to take control and basically let the Duke use her powers and her body for whatever he wants. She has been lying in wait, slowly stealing back that control. And now that she's back in control, she's still pretending that she is under the Vogue Prince's influence, and she's waiting for the right moment until she can destroy them all.
Yeah, Kaltain's like literally a monster. Like,
She's had a good character development in a
yeah, like
bad way.
yeah, she's like always been bad, but you feel terrible for her because terrible things are happening to her. And then she's like, but obviously she must be like pretty bad if she can like take down this Vogue that's taken over her. Like, I don't know. I just find it
Seems like
crazy.
it's pretty easy for her too. Like, she's
Yeah,
just like, I've been slowly taking away this Volg's influence on me.
yeah. So, chapter 55, someone breaks into the warehouse and it's Evangeline. She says the king's men took Lysandra, that jerk Arabin. He knew he had something up his sleeve. He had left a letter with his will that would turn Lysandra in for being a shapeshifter. So, Lysandra had then she told Evangeline to tell all of them that they needed to run away, that may have betrayed them too. So Kaol and Nezrin arrive with the news that the king and Dorian are going to Morath to meet with the witches, and they are bringing Lysandra with them. Aelin asks them to rescue her, and they say they will.
Yep. So chapter 56, Aelin, Adian, Rowan, Kale, and Nezrin all get ready to save Lysandra in Oakwald Forest, where the king is meeting with the witches, and they're like, that is our point of rescue. Like, that is the time for this. And then Aelin and Rowan have some more flirty moments.
They're getting closer. Chapter 57, the group is in Brandon's forest, staking out the wyvern and the witches. The king and Dorian and the prisoner wagon then arrive.
Yep,
Short and
then
sweet.
yeah, these are short chapters. Chapter 58, at the meeting in Oakwald Forest, Manon's grandmother is something else. She reveals that she has read Manon's letters and basically doesn't care. She's been ignoring them. She says she knew about the Duke experiments and approves of them. The king and the grandmother then go to look at the weapon that she made, but Manon isn't allowed to go with. So she stays back with Dorian. She manages to get through to him enough that when she asks his name, he says Dorian before the Vogue takes back control. With Dorian and Manon talking and the king and the old witch gone, Aelin frees Lysandra from the prison wagon. But then she sees that the grandmother came back and she slaps Manon, nails and everything. And she must be a great mother figure to her, but she is just the worst woman in the world. But I want to
Yeah.
go back to Dorian and Manon. Manon, remember with Roland, he saw her eyes and struggled with the Volg and the human came out. So there's something with Manon and the gold eyes of the Blackbeak bloodline that maybe has like this anti-Volg effect. Because remember, Volg is a product, or witches are a product of Volg and Fae. So they're like the children of them. So there's something with that bloodline that those golden eyes have this effect, or they're unaffected by Volg.
Hmm. Yeah, and Manon's like slapped by her grandmother because Manon was like being disrespectful to the king. She's like, "You're a king. I'm a witch."
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
I
she's
don't,
basically like, I don't have to listen to you.
yeah. And so, but for some reason, her grandmother is like acting kind of subservient to
Hmm.
them. So it's like a weird thing, and she's hurt for doing that. Chapter 59, I start this off by just saying once again, Kale is the worst.
He is.
He runs off to go kill Dorian and put him out of his misery. He saw Dorian. He's like, oh, yeah, Aelin was right this whole time. He's not there. He is far from saving. I'm going to go kill him now.
Mind
And
you, they are almost getting away with this rescue.
yeah, no one has really picked up on this. No one knows that Lysandra is gone and the guards are inside and they're dead. So they're basically free, and Kale decides to be an idiot.
Stupid.
And
Yeah.
he ran off to go kill Dorian, and he gets lost and goes the wrong way and runs into the witches instead. The group then chases after them, and by the group, I mean Aelin, Rowan, Adian, without Lysandra. I'm not sure where she was in this. This actually was not explained in the chapter well at all.
I think she was just not well enough to go back and go with them, so they're like, get to safety.
Yeah. So sh we don't know where she is. But they all face the witches, and Manon has Kale in her hands, and she's ready to kill him. Aelin says to take her instead because she's the queen of Terrasen. Manon realizes, though, that whether they win or not, whether she thinks they'll win, she's like, I'm gonna lose some of my 13. Like, we have a Fae here. That guy's might be Fae too. Like, this is gonna be a tough battle, and I don't want any of my 13 to die. Obviously, she doesn't voice this, but she thinks it internally, and so she acts nonchalant about giving Kale back to Aelin. Then Aelin has secretly drawn word marks in the ground. And for a stupid reason, Aelin then decides that she's going to start a fight. And she tells the witches that she is the one who killed Baba Yellowlegs.
Mhm.
So they have to kill her. Manon then lunges for her to attack, and she gets caught in the word marks. They kind of trap her. And the witches are pissed. And Aelin and the group start running away. They get to a bridge and are crossing it when the witches catch up and they shoot an arrow at Aelin. Rowan jumps in front of that arrow and takes it in the shoulder.
Yeah, at first I didn't quite understand because it was almost like the moment with Archer Finn where he's like, I knew you were too good for this, not to kill him. And then she turns back and is like, actually, I'm not, and kills him. So this, I think she also explained it where she said she didn't think that the witches would just let them go.
Yeah.
So she kind of thought it was a trick. So she's just like, just to be safe, I'm gonna trap her in this word mark.
Yeah.
Chapter 60, Aelin is pissed. She's mad that Rowan stepped in. She's mad that they shot her Karanam. And so she and Manon fight on the temple. Both are an equal match for each other, which means both are extremely strong. The fighting then causes the temple to collapse, and Manon is about to die as Aelin makes it across safely. Astrid is screaming for her friend, and Aelin hesitates. And then she goes back to save the witch, saying it would be a shame for someone who fights that good to die like that. Manon now owes Aelin a life debt as Aelin and her squad escape.
Yeah, that was big. The group is moving through the forest, and Rowan is still bleeding and he needs to be carried. Kale has the idea to take them to Nezerin's family country house where a man and a midwife live and they currently have Fleetfoot. The midwife's name is Marta. We know her, right?
I can't remember.
I feel like Marta was the name of the healer in Assassin's Blade. Was it Marta?
Oh. I don't know. Irene was the healer.
Irene, you're right. I don't know. I felt like I knew Marta,
I don't
but
know who Marta
maybe
is.
not.
Maybe she'll come up later.
Maybe she'll come up later. I feel like if it was the healer, they would have had like a reconnecting moment. They would have recognized each other.
Oh,
Um,
you'll know when Irene. Yeah.
ooh, yeah,
You'll
cool.
know.
Okay, so we don't know Marta. I got really excited though when I read that chapter.
That's okay. Maybe she'll come
Uh,
back.
yeah. Kale apologizes to Aelin for getting them all hurt. Yeah, an apology isn't enough, buddy. He says that he wanted to end Dorian's suffering, and she says they'll do it together because, it's going to be hard. And he feels bad and regrets calling her a monster because he's realized that she's not.
Oh, we're
Oh,
finally realizing that we're
that
wrong.
we're stupid. Yeah.
Ah, men.
Yeah.
Oh, Kale. He's like another species.
Mm.
All right, chapter 62. Manon tells the king about the rebels who freed Lysandra, but she lies and says that she killed them all. Manon saw the weapon her grandmother built, and it's a smaller version of a tower with an ancient witch mirror that amplifies powers, which the king plans to use to amplify Kaltain's Shadowfire, which Manon knows if this happens, the war is over. They have
Mhm.
no chance. Back in Morath, Elide is about to escape in the supply wagon that she has been waiting so long for. But she's caught by Vernon, and knowing what blood she has puts her in the dungeons because he has some plans for her. And while Manon is out, basically she has no protection.
Yeah. So Vernon calls a lead out for trying to leave. He says that she's a Blackbeak. He captures her and he's like, there's magic in your blood and there's witch blood in there too. And so he puts her in the dungeon cell. The Duke then calls on Manon. She says that the rebels attacked and she killed them all, and he has maps and plans to show her. She asked if he's the one that sent Rowan to attack them, and he says that Roland outlived his usefulness and he sent him in for them to kill. She's like, we're not your assassins. The plans show that Kaol and Ren are the suspects in freeing Adian. And it shows that Kaol is suspected to still be around the city of Rifthold and that his plan is to free Dorian. Manon then realizes that that group was there in the woods to get Dorian and potentially kill him to save him from the demon. Then, after this, Astrid asks to speak to Manon, and they fly away somewhere. And this flying away alone together somewhere is also really significant. It shows still the trust that Manon has in Astrid despite the constant battle they've had throughout this book together of Astrid, telling her that she's wrong. And so they fly away together alone. And Astrid then tells a really, really sad story. She tells a story that 80 years before, she fell in love with a human man, which is significant, and ends up getting pregnant. She told the Blackbeak grandmother, and the grandmother then protected Astrid for a while. And then when she had the baby, unfortunately, the baby was a stillborn. And the grandmother then beat her and then branded her as a punishment. The brand on her body says unclean. And this is just like, this was hard to read. Like, this was so unfathomably cruel. And that just goes to show, once again, how terrible of a person the grandmother is. And this is kind of the hatred, the lifestyle that she's tried to instill in all of the Blackbeaks. So it's just crazy. She ended up never seeing that man again out of shame as to what was branded on her body. And this is why Astrid is actually only loyal to Manon. And she's kind of said that before. So she is not loyal to the grandmother, the head of the Blackbeaks. She is only loyal to Manon and the 13. She then begs Manon to stop letting them take the witchlings, and Manon says that she's planning on doing something stupid, but we don't know yet.
Hmm. Yeah, again, this is a young adult book, but it has such heavy, dark topics and
Mm.
plots and parts, and it's kind of crazy to wrap your mind around it as an adult.
Yeah, it's hard. It's like, oh, poor Astrid. This is terrible. This is like crazy abuse.
Yeah. And that's not even half of it. I mean, the next couple books will get even more dark, which is fun.
Yeah.
But this woman is demented.
Evil.
Chapter 64. Lysandra is safe, and Aelin gives her a piece of paper that is a letter from Clarice, her madam, saying she and Evangeline are free from their lives as slaves. Aelin has paid off both of their debts, just like she did for Sam. I think she's got a soft spot for people who are enslaved.
I'd say
This is
so.
an extremely emotional moment for Lysandra because she thought she'd have to be a slave for another decade, sleeping with strange men. So they have this emotional moment where Aylin's like, haha, you thought that you had to, I'm sorry you were gonna be doing this for another decade, but you're free now. And Lysandra's just like, shut up, Aylin, like in a
Mhm.
nice way. And back in the skies, Astrid and Manon are heading for Rifthold. Manon can't help but think that she's forgetting something, and it's nagging at her subconscious. It's probably a lead who has been in the dungeon for 4 days with nobody to come save her.
Yeah, poor girl.
My gosh.
Okay, into chapter 65. We start with Lorcan arriving at the warehouse in the middle of the night. Rowan then meets him on the roof. Lorcan says that he knows Aelin is planning an attack on Solstice. He's then taunting Rowan, trying to get him all riled up. And Lorcan wants to trade the ring for the word key. And Rowan does it. He hands over the amulet in exchange for the ring. And then Aelin is waiting in bed. This was all part of Aelin's plan. She knew that this was going to happen. And the amulet does not contain the word key. The amulet now has the Volg commander's ring in it. So,
Classic Selena Sardathian, Aelin Galathynia. She's a genius.
yeah, she's always one step ahead. Then in this chapter, we jump to Dorian's point of view, and he can remember Manon's name. And the demon says to stop thinking of the descendants of our kings. So that's
Yeah,
important. I
her
feel
eyes
like
and
that's
her
super important.
lineage matter.
Yeah. Kaol and Aelin are now together, and Kaol says he doesn't want to be the person he used to be. Yeah, thank goodness. And that he was a fool for following the king. He then apologizes. Yeah, right.
We
He's growing.
love character growth.
Wow. He then apologizes for Nehemia's death, and she apologizes for then trying to kill him after that. And she apologizes for saying that she would choose him at the docks before leaving for Wendlin. So if you can remember, before when he sent her away to Wendlin to be with the Fae to try and protect her after Nehemia's death, she's pissed, but then at the docks, she kind of tells him basically in a secret way that she is Aelin Ashriver Galathinius and that she would choose him. She chooses him over Dorian, basically.
Mhm.
Um, so she apologizes for this and's like, psych. And then she's
Got a
like,
new man
yeah.
now.
It's like, yeah, my bad. I shouldn't have said that. And by the way, I think you should go after Nezrin. That's like the ultimate, like, pop, pop, slap you in the face. But yeah, they were never going to be together ever again.
Dude, they partner hop so much in these books. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, just a small tangent. I saw a little meme that was like an explainer for this book series, and it was like one woman dates a lot of people, dates everyone.
Three,
I
four,
laughed.
four. She's dated
Yeah.
four.
Yeah. Yeah.
One
She
in
gets
each
around.
book.
She gets around, but it's okay. She really doesn't sleep with him. Only
No, we
Kale.
don't slut shame on this podcast.
No. No, we don't. If she had slept with all of them, it's okay too.
I
Then,
would.
then,
Not
Kay,
kale, sorry. I take that back.
yeah, we regret Kale. Um, Kale then is talking to Nezrin and he's like trying to flirt with her now and it's awkward. But then he promises Nezrin that he will walk out of the castle. Remember that. The plan is for Rowan and Adian to put the Hellfire in the sewers and blow up the clock tower. Aelin then walks into her bedroom that night and she is in an all metallic gold nightgown
What
to
did Rowan
turn.
request?
Yeah, he loves metallic gold. And so she's trying to turn him on and it works, but they only kiss and he stops it there. And I was like, boo.
Yeah. This is also a moment where she reveals why she saved Manon, and it was because Astrid screamed her name, and it kind of made her feel like, what if that was Rowan?
Mhm.
And if she loves someone like as much as she loves her friends, as much as she loves Rowan, like she wouldn't want to take that person away from them.
Yeah.
So that is why she saved Manon.
Mhm.
And I thought that was really sweet.
It was sweet.
Alrighty. And I also just love when Rowan calls her Fireheart. It is my
Yeah.
favorite nickname in a book
Yeah,
series.
that's a
It
good
is so
one.
cute. I love it. All right, chapter 66. It is D-Day. Aelin is in the market of the slums getting breakfast, and we find she refused Lysandra's help and told her to leave the city with Evangeline, so they should be on a carriage by now. Aelin finds that a message written in Volg blood is posted on a stone wall of an alley and then runs to find Kale. This is weird. And then we find out that the message read, Witch Killer, the human is still inside him. So we know that Manon calls her Witch Killer because she killed Baba Yellowlegs. This is Manon's message and her giving her life debt to Aelin that Dorian is still inside.
Yeah, they can save Dorian, and that's the life that she's going to give her back.
Yep. So they need to change the plan to kill Dorian instead to save him. So
Mhm.
that is the end of episode 3. Will they save Dorian? Will they get magic back? I don't know. We're going to have to find out. Till then, to the readers who listen, we'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.